last night, and they never looked back. Max Scherzer racked up 9 more strikeouts in 8 innings and cruised to his first win in 3 starts. Today, Jordan Zimmermann looks to extend the Nats' win streak to 4 and leave the Phillies searching for answers.
It's a perfect day at Nationals Park. Game 3 of this 4-game series. Dog days of August a while away, but the Pups in the park for the first time this year, and why not? The Nats are having fun. They're playing well. Phillies have lost 6 in a row. The Nats have won their last 3, and last night another indication of how the offense has turned a big-time corner now. FP 29 runs in the last 4 games. These guys are cooking with those bats.
Well, we told the fans in Boston to relax. We also said maybe some of the players could relax a little bit, and they're starting to get in their groove. They're settling into the season, and you could tell by even the way Bryce Harper carried himself around the bases, the body language, very calm, very relaxed, a little handshake at the plate. Ryan Zimmerman's parts are starting to all tune up, and he's got his timing, and his swing looks good. He's covering the outside pitch. The defense is starting to play a little bit better, not as good as they want to yet, but they're starting to get it. So pitching's been good, defense is good, and how about Rivero last night in his major league debut with that big fastball? So it seems like with a couple wins, the offense coming alive, everybody has relaxed.
It's a great feeling to be relaxed. And we're only 12 games into the season, but things are turning around. A chance to get back to the 500 mark today.
Yeah, and a chance to win a series. I mean, when you're talking about playing the Phillies right now, the Phillies aren't the Phillies of old. I mean, this is a ball club that, you know, interesting to see how Jordan Zimmermann goes about it today facing this lineup.
Not sure I'd want to be a Phillies hitter today. Jordan can't be real happy after 2 1/3 at Boston on 70 pitches his last time out. He's 1-1 with a very un-Zimmermann-like 8.64 ERA. You get the feeling with the guys hitting the ball, his game is about to change as well.
The Nats trying to make it 3 in a row in this series against the Phils.
And earlier today, FP, some interesting things going on at third base.
Yeah, Escobar with the strained groin, and look who's playing third. And he actually has Ryan Zimmerman's old third base glove on, Tyler Moore. So in case of emergency, Matt Williams having Tebow take some grounders at third, Danny Espinosa getting some work in there as well. And if anybody can teach you how to play third, it's a guy named Matt Williams, right?
He was a brilliant third baseman in his big league career. So it's Danny over there today. Phillies lineup. Last in the league hitting at .213. Only the Brewers have scored fewer than the Phillies, 26 runs. Odubel Herrera on base 3 times in this series. FP and I continue to wonder why Ben Revere is not in the lineup. I mean, he's been a thorn in the Nats' side for the last year or so, but he's on the bench, pretty much the same lineup except for the catcher that they had last night. Here's Jordan Zimmerman, 13 starts against the Phils. He's 6-6 with a 3.48 ERA.
Well, he's coming off a rough one. Last start in Boston, he allowed 8 runs, 7 of those earned. The 7 earned runs were the most he's given up since 8 against the Cubs in 2013. Gave up 9 hits in just 2 1/3 innings through 70 pitches. So you see the numbers. They're not Jordan Zimmerman-like, and he's looking to right the ship here today.
And by the way, if you were wondering, 4 Gold Gloves for Matt Williams at his position in his big league career. Odubel Herrera, Jordan Zimmerman. Espinosa's on the grass at third. First pitch ground ball at 106. Enio Desmond throws him out. It is beautiful today. 77 degrees, barely a breeze. Flag's not doing much of anything right now. Oh, by the way, also on the injury front, it was pretty cool spotting Denard Span in the ballpark today. Running some sprints, doing some stretching out right field. Here's Freddie Galvis. And by the way, a fan let me know about 2 good things to do in Hagerstown after our conversation last night.
I caught a little flack on Twitter for saying, what do you do on an off day in Hagerstown?
Well, first of all, if there's a baseball game, you get to go watch a single-A baseball. But the highlight evidently is Crumpy's Donuts. Best donuts ever, I was told, by a fan who knows Hagerstown. Ian Desmond. And that's good scouting by the Nats, playing Freddie Galvis right up the middle, and Denard Span on the field today.
They went 3 for and then 1 for, I think. But more importantly, look at Denard run. I mean, he looks healthy. By all accounts, he is healthy. And Matt Williams said that he could be activated as soon as tomorrow. And we miss him, and we hope that's the case. Go for a little hashtag Spanning.
Here's Chase Utley. Utley's hitting into a lot of bad luck this season. Among guys who put the ball in play, he has one of the lowest batting averages. He's hit 3 or 4 line drives in this series, but without a hit.
Maybe more, Cart. 4 or 5. He squared up the ball almost every single time up.
7th year for Brian Knight. He's behind the plate. Vic Carapazza. Crew chief Larry Vanover. There he is at second, and Ron Kulpa over third base. .93 on the heater. Jordan looking a little quicker today than he did in Boston.
Well, the velocity wasn't there. The fastball this year is averaging just 91 miles an hour, and anybody that's seen Jordan Zimmerman throw over the years know it's 94, 95, got that late life. So maybe a dead arm period coming out of spring training, but the fastball looks good so far.
Chase Utley, a fly ball, left center. Michael A. Taylor. And he's got Clint Robinson playing next to him today. Jordan Zimmerman. Bang, bang, bang. That's it for the top of the first. Brought to you by PNC Bank, for the achiever in you. And by Ocean City, Maryland. Put your vacation days to good use in Ocean City, Maryland. Book now at OCOcean.com. Nothing doing for the Phillies. Top of the first. Here come the Nats. Against Aaron Harang, who has a 2.18 ERA against them since 09. Ian Desmond is hot. Michael Taylor back in the leadoff spot with Escobar hurt. Dan Uggla's in there. Danny Espinosa at third. First pitch by Harang. Outside to Michael A., who's 2 for 6 with a homer and a walk in this series.
Yeah, four-seam fastball. He'll cut the fastball right around 88, 89.
And Taylor reaches out, and that young man's batting over 280 now with a leadoff hit.
Well, there's been no question about Michael Taylor and his offense early on this season. And I guess the question is, what are you going to do with him when Denard Span comes back? But he starts this one up with a base hit to left field, and there goes a no-hitter. Michael Taylor style here, and give him 3.
He's 2 for 3 stealing bases. Ian Desmond 3 for 19 career against Harang, but 8 for 16 his last 4 games.
It's a big lead he's got at first. Wow.
And a big time lean. He started, stopped. Desmond pulled the bat back. That had Cody Ashe on the move at third base. Aaron Harang has started against the Nats for 6 different teams in the last 7 years.
When I talk to Phillies people, he's throwing the cutter a lot more than he has in the past. He's got a couple different kinds of curveballs, and one he'll bloop up there real slow, try to bounce it and make you chase, and then he's got a little snappy curveball that he throws a little bit harder. But he's a short arm guy, and he's been in the league for a long time. His fastball is sneaky. You see a lot of guys foul it off in hitting counts.
Desmond bunting for a hit. It's looking good. The throw safe at first. So the Nats playing some small ball here with their number 2 hitter with the big guns coming up.
Cameron Rupp made a nice play. I thought this was a base hit all the way. He got out of the squat quick, barehanded it, spun through right on the money. But a good idea by Ian Desmond right here. You don't see him bunt for a hit very often. And it's something that if he did a couple of times a month would take his, 260, 270 to 300 throughout the course of a season. That was a nice bunt.
He's 4 for 9 in this series now. On base 5 times. Stage set for Bryce Harper, who hasn't had a career RBI against Harang, but against the right-hander, he's 7 for 17. Bryce suddenly tied for 4th in the league in home runs with his 3. And the Nats are going up ripping.
Well, he hit a 3-run bomb in the first yesterday, so can he do it 2 days in a row against this defense? Ruff, Herrera, Francoeur the outfield, Gavos, Ashe left side, Utley Howard right side, and Cameron Rupp behind the plate.
Harper in this series 1 for 3. The Phillies have walked him 4 times in this series. He's also in the top 3 in the league in bases on balls. Got jammed on that one. Howard to short, and that's the only play. Productive out. Gets Taylor to third base with 1 down.
Bryce getting down the line trying to keep the inning going, but Ian Desmond just kind of ran past Freddie Galvis. He didn't even slide. Desmond kind of known for breaking up double plays hard. He just ran right past the Philly shortstop.
And a big spot for Ryan Zimmerman, who's had 3 extra base hits his last 3 games. His 2 hits in this series have produced 4 runs.
And they've all been to right. Let's see if the Phillies try him somewhere else today, maybe inside.
He has a career homer against Harang, 2 RBIs. Busted bat. so slowly hit they can only get one out, and the Nats take the lead. Well, sometimes you get sawed off and you get your 9th RBI of the season.
Well, he gets some high fives when he gets back to the dugout, putting his team up 1-0. Old saying is that's how you drive in 100 right there. Picking them all up all the time, doesn't matter how it looks. Bat kind of died a hero, right? Putting his ball club up 1-0 right off the pine tar. Watch his hands just stop.
Another runner to scoring position. And here's Clint Robinson, who's off to a good start as a part-time Nat. 6 for 19 with 2 RBIs.
I think he just said that felt good.
That would be the dry wit of Zimmerman at its best.
It would.
He might be the funniest guy on the team and doesn't even try to.
Right.
Well, Clint's off to a good start. That's big for any part-time player. Get some knocks early. Started the swing and stopped. Well, maybe he didn't. Late call by the ump, and it's 1-1. They got him bunched toward the gap in right center. Facing Aaron Harang for the first time. Nats are up to 5th in the league in runs, 2nd in home runs. Michael A. Taylor setting the pace for rookies with hits and extra base hits. The Nats, well, they hit 2 home runs. They're almost unbeatable. And there's that ERA by Harang against the Nats going back a ways, but they've got one today early. Robinson, third base side, well placed. It requires a throw, and Cody Ashe plays that very well on the run. 2 hits, including a bunt by Desmond, and the Zimmerman RBI grounder. Nats on top.
Guys referenced in the top of the first how his last time out, Jordan Zimmerman's fastball was sitting at 91-92, a few miles an hour down from what he normally is at. Well, Jordan said after that game that it wasn't anything mechanically wrong with him. There's nothing physically wrong. It was just a very dry day in Boston. He had trouble controlling the ball, and he had a tough time getting a grip on it. We've seen today that fastball in the first inning, guys, back around that 94-mile-an-hour range that we're used to seeing from Jordan. It's a warmer day today, a little easier for him to get a grip, apparently, and that velocity has crept back up to its normal area.
Thank you, Dan. Yeah, we did note the humidity was in the 20% range for 2 days in Boston. That was Dan Kolko with our Coons.com sideline report. When you're talking cars, you're talking Coons.
Yeah, don't forget those 9 hits and 7 earned runs. A couple of those were fly balls that should have been caught that nobody touched.
Correct.
And they were scored hits. So while his command wasn't there and he didn't have a grip, it could have been a lot better. And should have been a lot better.
Jeff Francoeur serving as the Phillies cleanup man these days, with Ryan Howard kind of wallowing down in that number 7 spot. And offering it that one, Francoeur pulling away 3-1. Cody Ashe and Darren Ruff to follow here in the top of the 2nd. Jordan misses well inside with the fastball. Phillies have their first base runner.
So the defense for the Nats behind Jordan Zimmerman today. Robinson, Taylor, Harper your outfield. Desmond Espinosa left side of the infield. Ugla, Zimmerman right side. And Jose Lobaton behind the plate.
Playing in his 3rd game. He's only had 5 at bats so far. Wilson Ramos is going great with the bat. Here's Cody Ashe. And the breaking ball spun by Zimmerman. This is low and in. Cody Ashe is still 7th in the league, batting .375. Even though the Nats have had him 0 for 8 in this series. He's 4 for 9 career against Jordan Zimmerman. 93 right in there.
Auburndale, Wisconsin, 738 people in Jordan Zimmerman's hometown. And my favorite part of all that is Bring Your Tractor to School Days, an annual event on the calendar.
Love it.
The challenge fastball up in the zone. And that's that late life, that giddy up at the end that I always talk about in a Zimmerman start. Didn't have it in Boston. He has it here today so far.
1 ball, 2 strikes. And a ball driven to center. Michael Taylor is going to have a ways to go back for it. Halfway onto the track. And where he caught that ball, it's almost 400 feet away.
So Danny Espinosa new to 3rd base. We showed you the video earlier of him coming out early and taking grounders at 3rd. And watch this. This is between Danny Espinosa and Matt Williams. And what he's telling him is with 2 strikes, he wants him to come in. And watch this last thing he does. He's talking about the squibber off the end of Odubel Herrera's bat with 2 strikes. So he's new over there. And Matt Williams, former 3rd baseman, is really teaching him up, coaching him in the middle of this game on where to play. You know, as a 3rd baseman, Carp, you play back with 2 strikes because there's no longer the threat of a bunt. But with a guy who could hit one off the end of that bat, Matt brought him in. So that's good stuff, guys. Good catch.
I think managers do more teaching at the major league level now than they ever have.
It's because guys rush through the minor leagues quicker than ever.
Pitch outside to the left fielder, Darren Ruff, who's showing some signs of life. 3 for 24 on the year, 2 for 7 with an RBI in this series. He hits one to left, backing up Clint Robinson a bit. We got to remember Clint's still very new to left field. Runner tagging, and he'll make it easily. Francoeur to 2nd on the 2nd out. So with more on that 3rd base thing, here's Dan.
Guys, Matt Williams said today that Danny Espinosa, because of his strong arm, likes playing a little deep at 3rd base. It's a new position for him, his first career start there. And he was playing a little too deep yesterday. There was a swinging bunt that Espinosa had to come in on. Tough play, but the Nationals made the adjustment. And when Espinosa was out getting early work today, they moved him in a little bit more shallow. So that's something that we'll look for today and going forward as Espinosa plays at 3rd.
Yeah, that was that swinging bunt by Carlos Ruiz in the 9th inning last night.
Matt looks like he's ready to play 3rd right now. he's in his position. He's in his good athletic position on the bench, ready for a grounder. He's playing vicariously through Danny Espinosa.
I like it. Ryan Howard, 3 for 20 against Jordan Zimmerman. Has an RBI in this series. A couple of hits and a walk. And if the Phillies want to bat Ryan Howard 7th and leave Ben Revere out of the lineup, that's okay with all of us going through this weekend. Ryan Sandberg looking for something to spark some offense. 2-1. He and Desmond playing right behind the runner. In what our buddy Ray Knight calls a rank pull position, with Dan Uggla actually out on the outfield grass. Modified shift because of the runner on second base. Howard will bring that bat back as soon as Jordan goes into his stretch, and they both got tired of waiting.
So this stat that I said last night was before the series, but 65% of all the pitches that Ryan Howard has seen this year have been fastballs. He's having trouble catching up.
What does he get on 2-1? 87. High in the air, down in the corner. Good crowd gathering.
Excuse me, Carl. That was a slider right there, and he did catch up.
Two balls, two strikes. There's Howard late for the 92.
We talked about Ben Revere being out early. I mean, the guy had 184 hits last year and stole 49 bases. He's had a bad first week of the season. He hasn't seen the field in this series. That's a head scratcher. Yeah. And it's still hard to see Ryan Howard hitting 7th. I don't care what he's doing.
So there's Nissan tracking the entire at bat here. And a 2-2 is a fastball upstairs that strikes out Ryan Howard. Jordan Zimmermann, first K of the day. He's retired 6 of the first 7 Phillies and has an early lead.
The fighting necklace on, sweatband, red glove. He'll be at Kids Opening Day. Joins the Nats Park on Sunday as we celebrate Screech's birthday and Kids Opening Day. That's presented by Junior Nationals Kids Club. Activities include face painting, balloon artist. Uncle Bob will be doing that. Mascot games, kids running the bases, and more. So stick your kid in an Uber and just send him to the game. You can Uber home after. Parents not needed.
I'm telling you, I'm getting ready with those water balloons. That ball's well hit by Dan Uggla, run down by Odubel Herrera in the gap, and Uggla hit that ball about 380. He's another guy who has not been very lucky in the early going.
There's some Papa John's in the house last night. When the Nats win and score 7 or more runs, get 50% off regular menu prices, online orders. Use promo code NATS50 when ordering. Better ingredients, better pizza. Papa John's, official pizza of your Washington Nationals. Nats fans have been getting fat lately. All kinds of runs.
Yeah. A lot of crust, a lot of sauce, a lot of ingredients.
Nats have scored 33 runs in their last 5 games.
Danny Espinosa takes strike one. In the series, 1 for 5 with a homer, 2 walks. He's hit safely 4 of his last 5 games.
Four for 9 left-handed this year with 2 home runs, a double, 3 RBIs.
Well hit center. Herrera right there. And the Nats are getting some big-time hacks early against Aaron Harang. Jose Lobaton will try to get it down to Jordan Zimmerman now with 2 outs in the second. Jose, as I mentioned, only 5 ABs, but he has walked a couple of times. He has a career RBI against Aaron Harang, 0 for 5 overall. Harang's a strike thrower. 12 pitches, 10 strikes first inning. He's 17 over 13 right now. "37 years of age he will be on May 9th. Since leaving the Reds, stops in San Diego, LA with the Dodgers, Seattle, the Mets, Braves last year. He made 33 starts in Atlanta, won 12 games with a 3.5 ERA. Took a little bit off and missed, 3-1. Lobaton first at bat in this series, and down he goes. Aaron Harang first strikeout. Jordan Zimmerman and the right-hander of the Phillies matching up 1-0.
Who is a potential option to come up to the Nationals, along with maybe Manny Burris, with Yunel Escobar straining his groin in last night's game. Escobar reported to the Nationals today that he's feeling better. He's going to undergo an MRI at some point today to check the extent of the damage. For today, at least, the Nationals are playing a little shorthanded on the infield, and Tyler Moore was actually out earlier today taking ground balls at third base, guys. He hasn't played third since his JUCO days, but with Escobar out, the Nationals are preparing a couple contingency plans. I asked Matt Williams, for what it's worth, if Ryan Zimmerman could potentially slide over and play third. He said no. Seems like Tyler Moore is the emergency option there if the Nationals need to go to it eventually.
Thank you, Dan Coco. Top of the third, it'll be Cameron Rupp for the Phils. Yeah, I think Tyler Moore is more liable to play third base before Ryan Zimmerman is. Yeah, even though Tyler Moore's an, kind of a long-time first baseman / outfield guy.
We talked about it last night, how comfortable Ryan is over at first base. He's learning that position. Then you take him back over to third, and the stress level rises, and he hasn't taken grounders there. And
well, and you want to have some stability on your infield. You know who's going to be at shortstop every day. It's great to know who's at first base every day, too. He has been fantastic.
He's been great.
Cameron Rupp 2 for 11 to start the season, playing in his 4th game. Jordan Zimmerman with a well-located fastball. 2nd strikeout in a row.
You remember the last start, talking about the grip with Jordan Zimmerman. He hit back-to-back hitters. And look at the control here today early, 94 miles an hour on the black. So he's got the good fastball. He's got the good command. He's got the good tempo going.
Aaron Harang goes up. Swinging. And Ian Desmond, wow, finds time to recover only because it was a pitcher running. Ian's just having a hard time right now, even making some routine plays.
Well, you can tell the way he fielded that one, too. It was a Sunday hop. I mean, he is really deep in his own head right now, folks. There's no other way to put it. I mean, he did this last night on the exchange. The best thing he did was stay with it, but even the most routine ground balls are becoming adventures right now for Ian Desmond. Good pick by Ryan Zimmerman, and I think they're going to review that. He looks safe to me, Carp, on the replay.
Well, if he is, that's another error.
I mean, just the simple things like exchanges. You don't want to use the word yips, but it seems like he has the yips. And he's safe, very safe.
That runner's safe.
Not even close. That's going to get overturned, folks.
And that's going to be Ian Desmond's 8th error of the year.
And it's all you could do if you're a teammate is pick him up. And if you're Ian Desmond, you can't hang your head, because guess what? That ground ball is going to find you today again. And it's going to be in a big situation.
Yeah, we've seen a couple of replays. I don't think this is going to take too long. Runner is safe. E6. Ian Desmond has 8 of the Nationals' 14 errors. Most by any player and most by any team in the major leagues.
And the thing about it, too, is as hard as it is for Ian in April, you know, the rest of the season he makes the same total of errors combined in May, June, July, August, and September.
Well, this is going to hurt. That ball skips by Clint Robinson out in left field. And again, only because a pitcher is running do the Phillies not score.